Even after leading the Florida Gators to a national championship, many NBA teams still had doubts about how well Walter Clayton's game would translate to the next level. But so far in the Summer League, I think Clayton has exceeded expectations, and he might have the build and skill set to be a very good NBA player. Now, the first thing I want to dive into is Clayton's defense, because I think this was generally the biggest concern that most teams had. And while we've only seen a handful of games so far this summer, I think Walter has shown that he has the tools to be a good and maybe even great backcourt defender. First, at the point of attack, Walter has a great blend of foot speed and strength, which allows him to step out to both pressure and contain the ball. If the offense tries to lower their shoulder and drive through his frame, he's got the stability to wall up and hold his ground. Or if he's matched up with a shifty guard, he's got the balance and footwork to stay in front and head off any driving angles. The ball handler here is initially able to create space by refusing the screen to then snatch it back. But as he looks to re-attack to his left, Walter is going to dart across and snag the steal.
Led by Sensabaugh 22.
And while stepping out and pressuring the ball, Walter's also pretty good at navigating screens. He's got a good feel of when to press up and fight over versus darting under if the screen is set super high up. So honestly, Walter being able to pressure and contain the ball, while also having the feel to blow up screening actions, is enough by itself to make him a great defender at the point guard position. And just for a bonus, I've also been really impressed with Walter's hand speed on the ball. He's got a good combination of playing vertical and discipline, while being ready to swipe down on the ball once it gets exposed. Look how he initiates contact with his chest here, to then again keep those hands vertical. But once the offense picks up the ball across their frame, Walter again automatically swipes down and gets the ball free. And what's also impressive is that he's still a threat to force turnovers even after he initially gets beat. Conkanipple here is going to dust him with the simple rip through, but watch Walter again use his chest to initiate contact, play vertical with his hands, to then find that window to swipe down. And many of these steals come back to his strength on the perimeter, being able to slide and hold his ground, which knocks the offense off balance and opens up more windows for steals. Look how he's going to again slide to keep himself squared up, to then extend across and find that window to poke the ball free. Now, when looking at Clayton's defense off the ball, I think he generally has good awareness and puts himself in the right spot. Plus, all those physical tools that we went over makes him very effective at helping and rotating. But I do think Clayton's focus and effort can be inconsistent. There's times where he defensively puts himself in the right spot, but just doesn't make any effort on the ball. We'll see him here rotate down from the weak side, but he doesn't look to put his body in the play, and he just floats past, giving up an easy two. And that lack of focus also bleeds over to his defense on the ball, where there's times where he sells out by just going for steals, or just straight up makes bad reads. Take this play for example. Charlotte is pushing the ball in transition, and Walter has to cover 3 players on the strong side of the court. But instead of dropping back and looking to stop the ball or take the first pass, he instead presses up and lazily goes for a steal, leading to a wide open corner 3. So while Clayton's focus is pretty up and down, I still think he has the foundation to hold his own defensively at the next level. I think it's just going to come down to him building the right habits in the next coming years. Now, when looking at Walter's play on the other side of the ball, the first thing we have to go over is his outside shooting. Off the dribble, he has a quick trigger pulling up going both right and left. And when gathering into his jumper, Walt's footwork is super sharp. Watch him here catch and rip to his left, to then step right left for a perfect vertical jumper. And that ability to quickly elevate off the dribble also makes Walt really tough to deal with out of pick and roll. If the defense isn't tight on their coverages, he can capitalize on the smallest of shooting windows. Watch him again here rip to his left. And when he feels that he has space, he's going to quickly organize his feet and rise up for another balanced jumper. Now, off the dribble, I do think Clayton needs to get better at creating separation. While he does have the ability to quickly pick up and fire, he does have a hard time creating space when attacking from a standstill, and most of his looks turn into rush and contested jumpers. And his inability to create separation really gets exposed when he's matched up with bigger and lengthier defenders.
The second half. Clayton shot.
And I also think Walt needs to get better at processing the game. There's times where he gets trigger happy with these early pull-up threes, which he for sure has the ability to make, but these aren't the type of shots that Utah wants to stomach in high volume. Now the good thing about Walt is that he also has the ability to turn the corner and create offense below the arc. He's got really underrated control and lift in the paint, plus he's already developing really good pace and flow from these in-between spots, being able to play the two-man game with the big and rise up for smooth runners, or keep his dribble alive, put his man in jail, setting up this crafty finish in the lane. I love this setup and shot here, where he snakes the ball across to his left, to again set up this shot fake and pivot across, but this time he's going to flow out for a fadeaway across the paint. Now at the same time, I do think Walt can improve his patience off the dribble in spots. There's times where he gets sped up and forces up runners or off bounce fadeaways, but I think this is just him getting adjusted to the NBA spacing, because typically in college there's just not enough space to stop and pro for 3 or 4 dribbles. But once Walt gets used to the extra room out of pick and roll, I think he has the touch and skill to torch any kind of drop coverage. And that ability to probe and score out of pick and roll naturally feeds into Walter's playmaking. And while I wouldn't say he's an elite passer right now, he is pretty quickly developing a good feel for making the right play. He can hit the roll man with pocket passes, hit the big man popping out, plus he's already getting comfortable reading the second side of the floor. And while some of these passes may be off the mark, these things can't get tightened up with a few months of NBA experience. So on the ball, I think Clayton has the game to give Utah a big scoring and creation punch. He's a big time shot maker. I think people are massively overlooking his rim and mid-range scoring, and I think he's already mapping the floor pretty effectively. And then on top of all that offensive juice on the ball, Walter also provides a ton of value off the ball, where that balanced footwork and shot making makes him a deadly shooter off the catch, being able to work off different pin downs and handoffs in the half court, plus fill lanes and can threes in transition. And those off-ball tools fit perfectly with Utah's playstyle, where they love to get out and run in transition, plus run a variety of screening actions in the half court. So with Clayton, the Jazz get the best of both worlds. You can put the ball in his hands and get some decent offense with him out of pick and roll, or you can move him off the ball, where he can then feed into your offense's space and movement. I think from a skill standpoint, Walter checks pretty much all the boxes. He's got the potential to be a legit 3-level scorer. He has the foundation to be a reliable playmaker. Plus, I think his defense will hold up very well. I think going forward, if he can improve his decision making and be more consistently focused on defense, there is nothing stopping Walter Clayton from being a very good NBA player. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments who the kids should break down next. The kids here.